श्रीमान वेंकटनाथार्य कवितार्किक केसरी वेदांताचार्यवर्यो में सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि. Swami Desikan's excellent stotram on Paranyasam, or also called as Sharanagati Prapatti, or Nyaasa Dasakam, which consists of 10 stotrams, slokas, and Nyaasa Vimshati, 20 slokas, and Nyaasa Tilakam, 32 slokas. Nyaasa Vimshati and Nyaasa Dasakam are the ones that we have taken up as a Bhagavata Ajna, an instruction, an order from another fellow Bhagavata, Sri Veeravalli Swami. And during this Dhanur Masam of 30 days, we will cover Nyaasa Dasakam 10 slokams and Nyaasa Vimshati 20 slokams. All that I am referring to are the excellent, extensive, very deep, in-depth Vyakhyanams written. There are 3 Vyakhyanams on Nyaasa Dasakam and 4 Vyakhyanams on Nyaasa Vimshati. So, especially Sri Shaila Tatacharya's Vyakhyanam is quite full of anubhavam, and it is written in Tamil. So, I am able to understand and grasp. The other 2 are in Sanskrit and in Manipravalam. So, anyway, today we are going to enjoy the 4th slokam. Sriman Abhishtavarada Tvamasmi Sharanam Gataha Yetad Dehavasane Mam Totpadam Prapaya Swayam. Perimale, O Lord, who is never ever separated from your consort, Sri Mahalakshmi, Sriman Abhishtavarada, one who is hailed as Varadan, because of your capacity to grant all boons, varams, all boons that your devotees seek or ask for. Abhishtavaradan. Tvam asmi sharanam gataka. Tvam, you. Sharanam, surrender. Asmi, I perform Sharanagati. I have now performed Baranyasam at your lotus feet. Yetad dehavasane mam totpadam prapaya swayam. Please grant me the bhagyam, the boon, the varam of attaining Sri Vaikuntham. Totpadam, your lotus feet in Sri Vaikuntham. At the end of my stay on this earth, in this life, Dehavasanam, at the end of this Deham, this Sariram, which when it is going to fall, at that time, please grant me the boon of reaching you and perform eternal, blemishless Nitya Kaikaryam for you there in Sri Vaikuntham. Udivil Kalamellam Udanai Manni Vadivila Adimeshaya Vendum Nam. Here also we can perform, but there would be a tinge of Prakriti Sambandham, and it would be with ego, I and mine and other Vishayams, other thoughts. There we would be completely bereft of all these things. So, such a beautiful slokam. Here Swami says, O Lord, who is never ever separated from Periya Pirati, who is saluted as Varadan, who is worshipped as Varadan, because of your granting all the boons that your bhaktas desire, and Adiyen is performing Prapatti, Sharanagati at your lotus feet. Please grant me the boon of Nitya Kainkaryam at your lotus feet in Sri Vaikuntham at the end of this life on the earth. That's what he is seeking for. So, this is the Dvaya Mantra Anuvada Slokam. Dr. V. and Vedanta Desikan mentions the first padam, Sriman Abhishtavarada Tvamasmi Charanam Gataha. The first padam is reaching the upayam, the means. The second padam is about the palam, the fruit of the kainkaryam. Etad dehavasanemam totpadam prapayasvayam. At the end of this life, I would come and perform nitya kainkaryam there for you. The first one, Sriman Abhishtavarada Tvamasmi Sharanam Gataha. I perform Sharanagati, I have performed at your lotus feet. So a Prapanna prays to Bhagavan with full confidence, with full Vishwasam, that he will be granted moksham by Bhagavan at the end of his body, this body's life in this world. So, here Swami Desikan performed a Sharanagati at the lotus feet of Sri Perindevi Sameta Sri Vararajan, because Ekam Mituname Uddeshyam, Bhoga Velayilum, Ashrayana Velayilum, Ekam Mituname Uddeshyam. Thus, together as Divya Dampati is for us to enjoy the service at their lotus feet in Sri Vaikuntham, as well as during the Sharanagati, during the Upaya. Swami Desikan seeks the blessings of being led to Paramapadam by the Lord himself, by Lord Vardhan himself. His deep love for Varadarajan propels him to ask for that. In fact, Lord Varaha Nayanar assures Bhumi Pirati that if one thinks of one performs Sharanagati, when his all the mental state and he is equipoised, and when he is able, he performs Sharanagati, and when he lies like a log of wood at the end of his life in coma stage, unconscious, with foul smelling odor, even the relatives would dare come near. They would not. They would feel so disgusted to come near us when we are lying like a log of wood at the end of our lives. He says, Aham smarami madbhaktam nayami paramam gati. I would remember at that moment, last moment, and I will bring them myself to my abode. Lord Varaha Nayanar says in Varaha Charma Slokam, Sthite manasi suswaste sarire satiyo naraha dhatu samyet ide smarta viswarupam cha mamajam tatastam riyamanantu kashta pashana sannibham aham smarami madbhaktam nayami paramam gati. That's what Swami Desikan is seeking now, to ask for the direct involvement of the Lord instead of benefiting from the traditional help of Adivahikas taking the Jivatma to Sri Vaikuntham. So, here Paranyasam should be preceded with a prayer for protection. Paranyasam for people who aspire for different benefits other than moksham. Also, Paranyasam is a necessity, because surrendering of the Swarupam, surrendering of the Palan is not required in that case. Whereas now, the burden of securing the object of desire is to be necessarily combined with the prayer for his protection. The Yachana, the prayer, the significance is coped through a Varanam. This means Prapatti is a kind of knowledge or Mati Vishesham. This kind of understanding is called Prapatti. So when one cannot obtain the object of his desire, either by his effort or by the effort of others, he entrusts the burden of securing the object with someone who is more capable, someone who has got the capacity, along with a prayer to him or appeal for securing that object of desire. And that is what is required. This is called surrender. He prays to him that from the very next moment of his entrusting the burden, that object of desire which is entirely impossible or difficult to be attained, may be obtained by the other person alone, may be granted by the other person without requiring any effort on the part of ourselves. This kind of particular awareness of this burden, awareness of the Paranyasam, getting that object has been actually thrown to the shoulders of the Lord. That is Sharanagati. It's not mere knowledge of an appeal or prayer. It is seeking protection. So that the person who has performed Sharanagati should be totally relieved, completely, any worries of obtaining that object from the very next moment, of entrusting that burden to the other. That's what Swami Desikan mentions in Srimathe Rahasya. So one should have this reflection that how can he give? The Lord is Sarvajnan, Sarvashaktan. He is the protector of all. It is clearly expounded even in Pranavam. He is Sarvasheshi, master of everyone, everything. He has everyone and everything as his Sesha or subservient entity. When everyone is Sesha Bhutan and everyone exists for the purpose of the Lord, purpose of himself, and as everyone is dependent upon the Supreme Deity, the aspirant has to reflect upon his servitude, his subservience to the Lord, even in surrendering himself unto the Lord. He has to realize fully that to save himself and all that belongs to him, as well as the fruit of his protection and the protection of all that belongs to him, that he is not related to any of them independently or for the sake of himself. That's called Paratantriya Vishishta Sheshatva Anusandhanam. Paratantriya means itta vazhakke. நீ அங்கே போய் நில்லுன்னா அங்கே நிற்கணும், இங்கே நில்லுன்னா இங்கே நிற்கணும். When Lakshmana was asked to take charge as Yuvaraja, when Rama underwent the Pattabhishekam, Lakshmana refused. He said, Aham sarvam karishyami, I am here to only serve you as a Seshabhuta. That's all. I don't want any position, nothing. I don't want anything. I'm just your humble servant. He refused. He declined. Rama said, fine. Then he called Bharatan. You become Yuvaraja. Bharatan said, Adiyen. Dhanyosmi. Why did Bharata not refuse? Did he not know that he is Seshabhutan? He knows. But he was Paratantriya. He was Dasabhutan. Means he whatever you say, I would do. If you ask me to jump, I will jump. Whereas Lakshmana would not. Whether it will be a Kainkaryam, he would inquire. Chendral Kudayam Irundal, Singasanamam Nindral, Maravadiyam Nilkodal Indrum Punayam, Manivalak, Pumpattam, Pulhum Manayam, Tirmarka, Aravu. All this is Adiseshan, he does. Bharatan, whatever you say, I would do. And both are unique and admirable, appreciable, worshipable. Both are, this kind of Paratantriya Vishishta Seshatva Anusandhanam is absolutely necessary in Prapatti. So one should have the reflection that all independent Bhagavan, who is Sarvasheshi, is himself protecting all that are subservient to him through a pretext, through an excuse, through a vyajam. All others being utterly subservient to him alone and totally dependent upon him are not fit to be a Nirupadika Sheshi. Those other devatas who are also dependent on him, who are subservient to him, they cannot be our Sheshi, our master. So when this Atman is utterly subordinated to him, just like a lump of clay, and when he is incapable of protecting himself, how can he be the protector of others? When Rudra himself came and begged with a skull which got stuck with his hand, and the Lord Sriman Narayana is the one who got that removed, how can he protect us when he himself is unable to protect himself? So we should think that I am not capable of protecting myself as well as all things that are called as mine, my family, my wife, my son, my property, as I am neither independent nor the prime enjoyer of the result. Myself, my kingdom, wealth, my wife, dependents, my vehicles, all these are subservient to that Supreme Paramatma. We will enjoy more in the following verses. Adiyen, Dhanyosmi, Kavitarkika Simhaya Kalyana Gunashaline, Srimathe Venkatesaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha.